Good evening. Tonight I'm going to be making a sweet and spicy chili. In my pan I've got a tablespoon of oil heating up, and I'm going to add to that a pound of meat. I have half a pound of ground beef and a half a pound of ground turkey. You can also use pork, chicken, whatever you want to use. So I'm going to put that in there to start browning while I cut up my onions. Now, someone has remarked on my video that they didn't see me cut up my onion. So tonight I will cut my onion up for you. So I usually get on the sides, take that off, cut it in half, take the skin off. As you can hear the stuff sizzling in the background. Unfortunately, the older the onion, sometimes you take off more of the skin than you want to, but it also saves you from getting cut. Because I've had that happen before. Or the knife slips and that's it, ba-boom. Filling out the rest of the skin. I also have jalapenos tonight put in the second part of the recipe, but I have to get gloves for that because my hands are very sensitive. Okay, so you're going to cut down like that, and then I usually come across it and then cut like that, so you get them basically the same size, so they all cook evenly. Let me finish cutting this up and I'll be with you in a minute. Okay, in the pan I'm breaking up the meat. I have this really cool tool that one of my friends told me about, and it really helps with stuff like that. It breaks it up nicely. So I'm going to add the onion to this, and we're going to let that cook until the meat is browned. So that'll be a few minutes. I'll be back as soon as the meat's brown. Depending how fatty your meat is, you may need to drain off some of the fat at this point. I use a really lean cut of meat. So now I'm going to add 2 cloves of garlic, which I chopped up. I'm going to let that cook for 30 seconds. Over here I've got myself a red pepper, which we're going to cut up into small pieces. Okay. I'm going to add that right to the pot. You don't have to see that part. I'm just going to add that in and let that start cooking. I got to get my gloves on for the jalapenos, because I'm always the one to touch my face after I've done the jalapenos, even if I've done got my hands all covered up. Okay, these are the jalapenos. I cut the ends off. I like to go down deep so I don't get all the seeds in there. And then I'm going to cut it in half. And then I'm going to scoop the seeds out. If you like it really hot, leave the seeds in. Okay. So let me cut these up and I'll be with you. And I'm going to add my 2 jalapenos into the pot. We're going to give them a stir, and then I take these off. I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. That gives it like a warming sense. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, a tablespoon of cumin seed. Now for the sweet part, we're going to be adding honey. This is one of the smaller jars of our honey from our bees. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon of honey in here. That'll just about empty this jar out. You can use a 1/4 cup of brown sugar if you prefer, not the honey. So that's what makes it the sweet part. So we're going to let this cook for like probably 3 to 5 minutes. And I'll see you back in 3 to 5. Into this, I'm going to add 1 15-ounce can of tomato sauce, and I have 1 15-ounce can of fire-roasted diced tomatoes. I'm going to add that to that. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. You can add that afterwards when you taste it, and pepper. And I'm going to add something called coconut aminos. I don't use soy sauce because it's got gluten in it, and I don't eat a lot of gluten. So I'm going to put about a teaspoon of that in there. And then I'm going to add, give it a stir first. And I'm going to add my 1 can of pinto beans and my 1 can of dark red beans that have been rinsed and washed. And I'm going to add probably about a cup of water into it. Okay, so we're going to take that, we're going to bring it to a boil, and then turn it down when it comes to a boil and let it simmer for 15 minutes. I'll see you in 15 minutes. It's been about 15 minutes. As you can see, this chili looks absolutely amazing. Someone had also asked me if they're cooking for a big crowd. You could do this and put it in a huge pan and put either rice on the bottom or mashed potatoes, and then put the chili over and serve it like that. And then maybe put some cheese on top of it and whatever else you'd like. So I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Thank you.